All right, we got a special episode today. We're talking about serving the community, and we couldn't have but a better guest on than Ruthie. We've also got Brittany here, and I'm Jason, and we're with the Real LLC, Lake Life and Culture, and our goal is to make a difference in the community and really bring those people to you that are already doing it. And I think today we got a really perfect guest that's here today joining us. Thank you for coming on the show.
So
Thank you for having us.
Ruthie is from Lake Cares, which is a community-driven place where you can come and get help if you need it, right?
Absolutely.
So can you
That's
tell
what
us a
we're
little
here
bit
for.
about that?
Well, Lake Cares Food Pantry, the mission is to feed the body, educate the mind, and lift the spirit of all individuals. So our main goal is to provide food to people who are just food insecure in Lake County. That is our boundary. It's Lake County, Florida. We do not go outside, and we serve the residents here. But we do other things. We also educate the mind. We provide, we put a high priority on eating nutritiously, and we educate our clients who come in and the people that we serve by providing healthy recipes and trying just to help them get where they need to be to live a healthy lifestyle. That's very important. And then we lift the spirit of all individuals just by treating them with the respect that they deserve, with dignity. We build relationships. Our volunteers who come in and work with our clients build relationships with them and just give them a hug and let them know, oh, I've been thinking about you, you know. I've been praying for you. I know, you shared a little bit about your situation the last time you were in, and I just want you to know that I haven't forgotten that. That means a lot for people who are struggling.
I
So,
bet.
yeah, not just food, like you're feeding the body, but maybe the spirit and the mind, like you're saying. I think it's really important. Communication, like, some people don't have that all day long. So not only can they get fed and serve a need, but the communication is such a big deal, especially if somebody doesn't have that all day. I know in a business that I run, I get communication all day, maybe too much, but yeah, so there's some people that doesn't have that communication. It makes a big difference in their life. So you guys are doing way more than just food.
Yeah. And I saw a video about Lake Cares where you actually have people that you used to serve who are now coming in and serving others. Can you tell us some stories or something about that?
We do have people, there's several stories. We have people who said that Lake Cares helped them when they needed help the most, and they decided to give back when their situation got better, and they became a volunteer, and they built relationships with the other volunteers, and they love it so much they've been there for years. We've had that. I have been out into the community speaking and raising awareness about what we do at Lake Cares, and people have come up to me and said, in my darkest hour, in my biggest need, someone sent me to Lake Cares, and they put their arm around me, they embraced me, they gave me food, and it was more than just the food. They connected me to other agencies that got me out of my situation. And that's a wonderful thing to hear. It tells me that all of the people at Lake Cares, the volunteers, they're all doing what they're there to do.
Yeah. Are you seeing like an uptick in the amount of people that are needing help right now?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Really?
Yes. Back when I first started at Lake Cares in 2019, there were, in the beginning, there were a large population of, actually the percentage was high on the seniors that were coming, the senior citizens, because, people don't think about seniors. Many seniors live in poverty. They're barely making it on the 2 Social Security incomes, and then all of a sudden the spouse dies, and now they're down to 1 and a very small widow's pension, and they just can't make it. So they end up coming to Lake Cares, and they just have great need. And then when COVID hit, it became families trying to make it, because there was a downtime that there was not, they lost their jobs. Maybe both mom and dad lost their jobs, and there was a downtime where nothing was coming in for a while until they could figure out what to do. And so we got hit big time with that. But thank goodness for the community that we're living in, because people were very generous. People were stuck at home. They felt like they wanted to do something, and they donated to Lake Cares. And thank goodness that they did that, because every penny of that went to the large number of people that just flew in. And that's not something that you can budget for.
Right.
You can't budget ahead of time for a pandemic. So we live in the most wonderful community in Lake County. It was just like they came in, they saw the need, and they helped us.
I love Lake County. I think we both love Lake County so much, but I'm interested. I know my food budget. I'm a single mom and I have 2 teenagers. One is a boy and will eat me out of house and home if I'm not careful. My food budget is really high. I can't imagine what your need is at Lake Cares.
Oh, it's tremendous. You know, one thing that people don't realize about food pantries, at least our food pantry, is we purchase food. We have, we get free food from local grocery stores, for instance. We're so grateful for Publix, because their meat at the sell-by date that they can no longer keep in their freezer, in their bin and sell out of, they can call us, and because we have a freezer truck and can keep it frozen, and we also have 7 satellite sites, as well as our main food pantry sites, so we have distributions all the time somewhere. We can turn that meat around. We can keep it frozen and turn it around and give it to people who would not ordinarily be able to afford, you know, meat. So we're so grateful for that. However, I just actually brought in some numbers of the current, this was in June, for the current inflation rate, and the food away from home rate is up. It's down actually from what it was. It's going down, but it's still up for a 6.7%. That's food away from home. Food in home is 6.7, or food overall is 6.7, and then food at home is 5.8. That is the increase in food prices. Right now, it's down from about 10%.
Oh,
So
wow.
it is going down. It's still outrageous. Anyone, you don't have to be low income to go to the grocery store and be astonished by the food prices.
Absolutely.
So it just hits people who are on such a tight, limited income so much harder. But, you know, that's what we're here for. We try to help as much as we can. But we do buy food. We receive food by food donations. We like to say people can donate their BOGOs, but we call it buy one, give one. So often people will they ask for the second of their BOGOs to be bagged, and on their way home from the grocery store, they just drop it off at Lake Cares.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That really is a great idea. I think sometimes it's not always money that you can give. You can give your time. You can get, like I know a lot of businesses, we were talking earlier, come in and they bring their employees. And that helps everybody. I know it helps you guys a tremendous amount, but it also is really good for the business to be team building. It's really good to show that you care. I think everybody can benefit from that. Is there a way, like if I'm a business and I can bring my employees there, or if I want to bring my kids and my family there to serve, what's the best way to do that? Because sometimes people might not have that money in their hand, but they can have that service where they can serve.
Yes. They can go online and fill out a volunteer application online. And our volunteer coordinator, her name is Patty Pabone, and she will see that and reach out to you. Another way is just to call her directly at 352-383-0100, and she'll be glad to talk to you about the different opportunities that are available. Another way to give, too, as a group, and I'm finding this out in Lake County. Lake County loves competition. They love to be competitive. And we have found out that when there's a fire department food drive every year between Tavares, Eustis, and the city of Mount Dora. And I am telling you, the whole city gets in on that because they want to be the city that wins the competition. And it's all for a good cause, because everyone knows that the real winners are the people who need the food the most. They're going to be the winners of this competition, but they make it fun. Well, that kind of went over into community food drives. So now these communities are having these competition food drives, and they get a trophy at the end of the food drive. There's two. Actually, I'm going to share a funny story. We started out, it was the amount of food, the total weight of the food is who won the food drive. We had about 6 or 7 local communities, the Country Club of Mount Dora, Lakes of Lady Lake, or Lakes of Mount Dora, Royal Harbor, and Tavares. They were spread all over, but they were pretty large communities. So they were very competitive, and we had established a rule that if people gave money, because oftentimes people can't get to the stores and they want to write a check and give money, we had an amount that we would say, okay, a pound of food, is, or a pound of food, we would kind of do a conversion. And so what happened, they got so competitive that some people wrote great big checks. And it became a little bit unfair. So now we have the same competition every year, but now we have 2 winners. We have the fund and the food drives, and they each get, a presentation and a trophy and a plaque, and we're thankful for everyone who participates, but they make it fun.
Oh, I would do just about anything for a trophy.
Gosh.
Competition is huge, especially in business. But like you said, there's so many people that benefit from it. It gets really exciting, gets really fun, it gets people involved. I think that's really, really cool.
It's a fun way to give, and anyone can do it. Businesses could do it, and kind of compete against other businesses. It could be anything. But it's all for a good cause, and it helps the people who need it the most.
When people are donating, is there a certain type of food that you need the most of?
Yes, we kind of harp on unexpired, shelf-stable food, because sometimes people don't realize, and they clean out the back of their pantry, and if it's been in there for quite a while and it's expired, as much as we need it, we can't use it. We have to follow those guidelines. So, we want to make sure that it's food that you yourself would eat, and it's shelf stable. We're not crazy about glass jars because we've had accidents with those, not realizing they were in the bags and, moving the food around.
People need to understand that you guys have a ton of safety and a ton of experience and things that you have to do to keep the food safe. It's not just a food bank where you don't know what you're getting. You guys
Right.
go through a tremendous amount to make sure that it's safe, and you have regulations, and you guys are doing all those things. So if you're stopping here to get this food, it's safe. It's something you can
It's
eat.
safe. And if it's been in a hot car, we have to take the temperature, put the temperature of the food and make sure it's acceptable. There's different guidelines that we are required to go by to keep everybody safe. Another thing that I feel like is important is we put a high priority on healthy eating. And so we try to always give out protein foods and so if we get beans, that's fantastic. Peanut butter is fantastic, especially for the kids. And we canned meat, canned stews, canned chicken, and canned tuna, because we try to get that protein out there and make sure that people eat in the most healthy way.
So if there's somebody in the community that does need help, how can they reach out and get that help?
Usually they can call Lake Cares. We will make them an appointment and put them in the regular rotation. We find out where they live, so they don't have to drive if they're all the way in Paisley, for instance, so they won't have to drive all the way to Mount Dora. We'll send them to the Paisley distribution and give them to all of the information about when that distribution takes place, so they can go there. But we actually have, we call them satellite sites. They're distribution sites, and they're on different days. And we distribute 3 days a week at our main pantry location, and that's by appointment only because, otherwise it would be a traffic problem if we didn't have appointments and certain people with appointments to come in. But we also distribute on the west side at the Martin Luther King Memorial, on the west side, on the west side of Donley Street in Mount Dora. We also distribute at the Bates Neighborhood Center in Eustis, at Paisley at Spring Creek Charter School, at Faith Christian Church in Tavares, Howie in the Hills. There's a community church there, and we have distribution there. There's a distribution in Lisbon, at a chapel in Lisbon. And so all of those sites and the times and the days can be found on our website.
Okay. That's really cool because I know, one of the biggest things we can do in our community is work together and have a network. And from what you said earlier, the schools are really working with you guys,
Yes.
making sure certain students are taken care of. You kind of have that heads up on who's probably going to need some food. But then also we see the churches working together. So you guys kind of become this hub where different people can reach out and you can meet needs. But I don't think people really understand the value of a hub and where people can network and work together.
Yes.
Whether you're a church or school, whether you guys agree on politics or religion, you're feeding people either way.
Right. That does not play a part in hunger.
Right.
Who cares when people are hungry? And how we get these different distribution sites are just people, and it's typically churches where there's a large number of people that show up at these churches throughout the day saying, we need food, can you give us food? And so they'll call us and say, there's a large population of people who are hungry here. I think that's what happened. That's how we picked up the Sorrento site. There's a church. And so how they do it is like, we have enough volunteers here at the church, they can work this if you can provide the food. We can't do, it totally depends on the amount of donations that we have coming in order to purchase the food and what we have to give, but we want to help every way that we can.
Are you looking for more satellite?
We don't look for any satellite sites,
Okay.
but we go where the need is. And if there's a little pocket where people are underserved, we're going to find a place to be able to serve from that little pocket in the community.
I like the long term of it where you're not only feeding people, but you're giving them good choices of food, helping them support with that. So maybe it could make a turn and a change long term. So, maybe like someone might not be healthy and can't work. Like they learn how to become healthy, get a job where they can start working now, and then come back and serve again, and maybe change their family tree or their history and make an impact. So it's not really just about feeding people. It's the connections, it's the hub, it's the networking, but also teaching, what are healthy choices and what are foods that are going to help you grow. I think it's, and you'll probably never know how far your reach goes. Like we get that all the time on this show, like you're doing something great, but there's like this family or this person that has a story that might go generations and reach generations, but you never know of that. Like we love that spider web effect of helping and how far that goes. And someone down the road, 100 years from now, might be affected from the effort that you put forward today. One of the things that I thought was really cool is I noticed there's some property that was really nice property for sale. It's been bought, and now there's a big sign there that says new place coming soon, and it said Food Cares. So is that something, Lake Cares, is that something, when can we see that? It looks like a beautiful building. Like how cool is that to be in a community where we're going to be able to support something like that?
We're so excited for this. We are going to build a 22,000 square foot facility. And with this facility, we'll be able to serve Lake County, the people in Lake County who need us on a bigger scale and a bigger way. There are so many things that we want to be able to do, but we're just limited right now. So we're very excited about the opportunity. And by the way, right now, just last year alone, we served 67,329 individuals. Of those individuals, 18,816 were family. We're families. 1.2 million pounds went out the door.
Wow.
We weigh everything. We know what comes in and what goes out. And we used 262 volunteers to make that happen. And they volunteered together 23,000 hours of their valuable time.
Wow.
And they did it with a smile.
That makes me so proud of Lake County.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Wonderful.
it's just serving is one of the things I've been studying actually recently is like happiness, and a lot of it comes from serving others. Instead of like serving your own need, serving others will bring you just this enormous amount of happiness, but impact, you know, like, or maybe there's that father out there who just can't make ends meet, can't get that food to the kids. And then there becomes this avenue for them here at Lake Cares to do that. Maybe makes them feel like a better father, and maybe helps them be more productive and change their life in so many different ways. I just can't put the emphasis on how proud we are to see you guys in this community. When did Lake Cares start? Like, what year was it?
2009 is when Lake Cares began. And there was a minister by the name of Pastor Paul Hoyer. He has just recently passed away. But during the economic decline in 2008, as everyone remembers, foreclosures were high, layoffs were high. He said, we have to do something. Families are struggling. What can we do? So they got this idea. Maybe they could just get enough donations to be able to serve 25 families a week and help them, because maybe they can make their car payment if they have help with food, you know, something. And he just wanted to do something. Fast forward to 2023, I just gave you the numbers of how it's grown and what we serve. And so the need is great right now. And I gave you those numbers actually to segue into, this is the reason why we need the new facility. The numbers have grown, we've outgrown our space, and we can do so much more. And we have said that for several years. There's so many ways that we need to help the people that we serve, but we're just so limited on space we can't. So in this new building, we will have more pantry space, and we will have our offices and our warehouse all under one roof, where we can operate more efficiently. Before, we have to lease warehouse space, and we're going back and forth with food, and it's just very inefficient the way we do it. We've actually had to turn down food that has been offered to us because we don't have the space. So we're very happy to be able to have this new building and do more. We are going to be able to offer outreach services in this new building to people. Often people who live in poverty have more needs than just needing food on their table, right? There's other things, and we want to get them to the path of self-sufficiency. We want to help them in other ways. Right now, we will connect them with other agencies that we collaborate with, which Lake County has many, and they're wonderful. But wouldn't it be nice if people that come in, they have an appointment to come in and pick up food, and we can go ahead and make them an appointment depending on their need for a budgeting class, a computer class, so they can put together a resume, career source to come in and have certain days that they're going to be able to say, oh, here, let's help you, you know, with your resume, or let's see what applications that are available that meet your skill level, and try to help them. Because I feel like it's a disservice just to provide food and not to help them in other ways, because people have other needs. So we're going to be able to do that.
Isn't it amazing, like, the things that start up during bad times, and like the differences of, like, 2008 was a tough time, 2009 was a tough time for many people, but here we look further to 2023, and here's this new facility, 22,000 square feet, that's going to serve so many people that came out of a bad time that maybe wouldn't have happened if we weren't going through that at the time. But
Yes.
now being able to serve all, but you go back to efficiency too, and I think people need to understand this. They've got several warehouses where food's going, so sometimes efficiency is actually going to save money in this situation where they could actually give more. So new buildings can actually create more opportunity for you guys to do more in the community. I just couldn't be more thrilled to be a part of Lake County and what's happening. And I just love those stories that come out of, you know, bad times. I mean, I think there's always opportunities. We just have to see through it to find those. And obviously somebody did, you know, and it's it's cool to see it, what it's going to serve now. I guarantee you, maybe he did, before he passed away, was he able to see, this new warehouse coming into effect
He
and how
knew,
that did?
yes, he knew that was coming, and he was very proud of his vision. And I feel very strongly that, he didn't know what it would become, but God laid it on his heart to help people, and he planted the seed and he got it started. So we're very thankful for
What
him
a legacy.
for doing
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah. So one of the things that I love about our new building, our new Lake Cares, once it's built, is that it's going to belong to the community. The whole entire community has made it possible. It's an $8 million goal, and we have already been able to raise through our Building Hope Capital campaign just over $5 million toward this building.
Wow, way to go, Lake County.
Yes.
What a different, wow,
Yeah.
that is so awesome.
Yeah, but it shows that people see the need and that people have faith in us that we're going to continue the good work that we do. And so there's still a need out there. So if anyone hears this and they would like to participate in our capital campaign, absolutely, we would love to have you. But what I'm most excited about is because Lake Care belongs to the entire community. We couldn't do anything if it wasn't for our volunteers, for our donors, for our churches, our local churches who give and help, our businesses that understand the need and give, our civic organizations. They have special food drives and different things like that for us. It's all together. Everyone all together works together to make Lake Cares serve the people that need it the most. So what I love about this new building is because people can come into this new facility, and there'll be signs everywhere of everyone who had a part in making it a reality, and you can very easily see that the building belongs to the whole community. Belongs to Lake County, because that's what it took, everyone coming together to make it a reality.
It makes me so proud to be in this community in Lake County. Like, the more people that we get to interview and see all the resources that have come about, there is so much help right here in Lake County. And it doesn't just start, just sometimes it starts at the church, or sometimes it starts at Lake Cares, but somebody can point you in the direction of the help that they need.
Yeah, it's
Well-
all about raising that awareness so people know the need, understand the need, and understand what these organizations do. A lot of people don't realize that we have targeted programs for specific groups. And so once they learn that, they think, oh, okay, I can designate my giving. Because I have a heart for kids, I want my giving to go to kids. I want mine to go to homeless or seniors, veterans.
Well, you never know, like, what side of the equation you're going to end up on, right? Things can change daily. So, like, if you have a chance to give right now, you never know, like, in a year from now, you might be the one that needs to be served. Like, it's
true.
So if you have that opportunity, now's the time to give if you can. And maybe you might need Lake Cares, and it might serve a purpose in your life. But realistically, you're winning in both ways. Anytime you serve, you're winning, and anytime you can give. But also being served is a real bonus when you're down and out,
That's exactly right. We saw that during COVID, how quickly tables can turn. And so it's nice to know that people who at one time gave to Lake Cares and even helped with food drives, then all of a sudden they found that they were in need themselves. And that's what we're here for, to help those people.
Well, I'm definitely going to bring my kids by and volunteer. I can't wait. So thanks for coming in today. Did you have any more questions?
No, I think for me it's going to be a family event. Sometimes, my kids always want to go to SeaWorld or Disney World or whatever, but really they just want time with you, right? So for me, what can be a better thing to do with your family than maybe not take that trip to SeaWorld and go and serve the community? And I think there's so much that you can gain out of that. So if you're looking for something to do with your family that's going to make an impact on thousands of people, maybe even your direct family, this is an avenue to do that, to give back. I know personally I want to do that with my family. I think Brittany's the same way. But also with our business, Eustace Roofing runs on these really integrity people that really, really care about the community. And that's really our mission. And so I don't think there's a better way that we could serve than to do that. We do a lot of events together as a company where we go out and do things in the community. But I think serving is something we do daily on people's roofs. Like, we feel like we're serving them, but we would love to be on the other side of that, where we can actually serve people as a team some food, and also just resonate the place that people can go to do that. So I'm super excited about it, and I think sometimes we need to have events like this or podcasts like this so that we can really see what's happening in the community. So thank you for being a leader in that and taking the time to come here and share with us. All right, so I think you have a really cool story. It might involve roofing, I heard. Can you share that with me?
Yes, we have many stories of people that have been helped through Lake Cares, but the most recent that we've had very recently was a young man. I think he's about 25, 26 years old, and he was actually living in his car. We found he came to Lake Cares for food back in February, and he was homeless, living in his car. So our homeless population, they say they're homeless and they get certain foods. They get foods with pop-top caps, and it's in bags that if they're on a bicycle or riding the bus, the bags are a little bit stronger to carry their food. And they get water and, toiletries, personals. They get hand sanitizers and cleaning wipes, hand wipes. But they also get pop-top beef stew and drinks and different things like that. Things that they wouldn't be expected to cook. There may be some microwavable food in there that they could stop in at a convenience store and pop it in, the microwave, but that's what they get. So this gentleman received this food. We knew he was homeless, and just through conversations, because like I said, we try to build those relationships and lift the spirit of individuals and make them feel like they're heard and they're loved and that they're cared for. We found out his situation, and the young man's situation was his brother. There was a raid on his house, and his brother and his father went to prison as a result of what was found through this raid. So his house, I think the story was, so his mother and the family moved in with another family, that family's house was already so full that when the people moved in, because of course they lost the ability to live there, and I think the house actually even burnt down afterwards, there was no room for this gentleman. He was an adult, and they said, there's no room for you. And he said it was so chaotic that I was okay with not staying there. So he lived in his car. He had an hourly job that he worked at, but he didn't make enough money to be able to get out of his situation and pay rent and that sort of thing. So he just lived in his car. So I think it was possibly our pantry manager that started, it resonated with her. We need it. But now that we know his story, we have to do more. What can we do? He started talking with him, found out that we could give him kind of different foods because he worked. He would be able to use the stove and be able. And then, so she found out a place where he could shower, that he would be allowed to shower. And then she talked to a roofing company that owns the building that we reside in, that we work out of, and said, is there anything that you can do for this? He needs skills. He needs extra money. And so roofers, as you know, are very good-hearted, genuine people. And so they said, yes, absolutely. Let's see what we can do. Started giving him small jobs just to see what he could do. And then I felt sorry for him, and I said, hey, come out to my house. I can have you do some things around the yard. It was perfect timing. I had taken a fall and broke my knee. So I like to do yard work, but it was hard for me to do at the time. So the timing was good. He came out and helped out, did a great job. He just needed someone to give him a chance. and there are many people out there that needed that. And so right now he's working, he's making money, he's saving money. The last time I got an update on him, he is saving his money, but he doesn't have enough, but he is making sure he has plenty of money before he gets an apartment, because he doesn't want to end up back in the car or on the streets. And he's being very careful to make sure that doesn't happen again. So he wants to make sure he has everything he needs, all his ducks in a row, as they would say, but he is moving forward and progressing through. He just needed someone to embrace him and help get him on the path that that he is on right now.
Yeah, that's the
Inspiring.
special thing about roofing is like you can come in with no skill and it can be taught, but really the main thing in roofing is hard work. Like if you can work really hard, you can go really far in roofing. It's one of the trades that are out there. There's a lot of trades out there, but if you're in a bad situation, this trade has been so generous to so many people. It just requires that heart and that hard work. And you can really go places in roofing. We see it all the time. We see guys, I mean, our story of owning Eustace Roofing is exactly that. You know, going from table to table to find a job when we first moved here. Couldn't find one. Finally started from cleaning the ground and then working really hard. And that's what roofing is. It's a really, really hard job, full of opportunities for those that are willing to go the full distance. And so that is really, really cool to see the impact on an individual's life in the roofing trade, but also you guys providing that avenue for him to eat, be well nourished, to go out and do that hard work.
Well, I had a recent conversation with him, and as you can imagine, based on his background, he didn't have anyone to teach him a good work ethic. He didn't have that. We all learned that from watching family members, and he just did not have that in his family. So now he's watching all of these people he's working with, all the roofers and all of the people that he's working with, and he has the highest, absolutely highest respect for the fact that they, you know, are very serious about their job. They get their work done, and he's trying to emulate that. So it's good all the way around. It's teaching him so many good skills, but skills that you would assume that he would already have by now that he didn't come, you know, in with. So I think it's just wonderful, and it's another one of those things where everybody jumps in to try to help him do better.
That's really awesome. Yeah, you guys are like a network, a hub, you know, where all these different communities can get in touch, the churches, the schools, you know, the homeless community knows you guys are there, and now you got a guy working, changing his life, maybe changing his future for his maybe family that's to come or whatever it may be. So it's really, really cool to see that. Thank you for that story.
We're very proud of him. But there are many stories, and we're the right place to find the people that we can turn their life around if we have the opportunity.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Thank you.